All right, we are back. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Umama Muriledi, and this has been News and Views. What an amazing show so far. We've had quite an amazing conversation with Mrs. Samina Muhammad, who has told us about all things Umrah, alhamdulillah. Now we move into a bit of a fun part of News and Views, or what I would like to call a bit of a fangirl moment for me, because I said, I'm going to have the show. I have someone on hand that I'm going to ask. I don't know if she's going to say yes, but I'm going to ask to come in the show. And alhamdulillah, I got a yes. As you can see, this is a literature spotlight, and many of you who may know me will know that this is absolutely amazing. I love talking about books, and I love talking about writing, and so I've got the darling author of Some Unspoken Thing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Mama. I just want to say I'm also fangirling because I saw the cover of your book and I was just like, it's so cute.
I'm so happy that we're having this moment, even though it's on air for everybody to see, but we're meeting. Alhamdulillah. You're all the way in Cape Town, I'm in Johannesburg, but we need to make the connection some way, somehow, and Salam Media has been the place for us. Alhamdulillah. I have quite a bit of questions for you. I wrote a whole lot down. I said I cannot miss a thing. We must talk about your book, your journey, and all things in between. So going right in, my first question for you is, okay, before I even start, congratulations on your first book. May Allah increase you and may it be such a success. As I've seen, it's already been such a success. So how does it feel to finally say that I am a published author?
It was something that I needed to build up to, because I don't think it was an easy thing to say, oh, I write, oh, I'm an author, because it's not something I've heard often. It's usually for people that I see from other countries or somewhere else. It's not really something that I thought I would be able to claim. So being able to say that now feels really good. It feels good to say that I wrote a book and I'm a published author.
Zakah is more than just charity. It is a duty, a trust, and a means to uplift those in need. For over 40 years, Islamic Relief has only distributed zakah through policies that comply with Sharia guidelines, endorsed by qualified scholars, making sure it only reaches those who are eligible. Give with Islamic Relief, where your zakah is our amana.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
All right, we are back once again. And I've been telling all of my guests and telling everyone, guys, I'm in the mountains. I'm on holiday in the mountains of Pumalanga. So it's not my fault that the network is bad. I'm trying my best, but we are back nevertheless. Alhamdulillah. And so just picking up where we left off, that I couldn't 100% agree with you that you don't really see so many authors that are out and say I'm an author, and so it gets a bit like awkward, like now I was God and say I'm an author to everybody. And whenever I see people like, oh, so you wrote your book, I'm like, I don't really want to talk about it, guys. Like, I'm so happy of this accomplishment and I'm really proud of myself, but it's almost a bit awkward to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think we need to give ourselves grace and, just enjoy the moment and enjoy the fact that we've made such a big accomplishment. Writing a book is not easy. A lot of people think that it's easy. It's very hard work. But you have done it, alhamdulillah. Amongst doing so many other things in your life, you were able to publish. I did my stalking. You were able to publish Unspoken Thing. Let's move into my next question, inshallah. So your debut novel is called Some Unspoken Thing, right? The title alone is so intriguing. Can you tell me what it means to you?
To me, it speaks to the relationship to the people in the book, because they have some unspoken thing between the two of them. Everybody sees it, but the two of them don't. But it also relates to all the things that we don't talk about as a community. So there's always this some unspoken thing in gatherings. There are ways that we don't talk about certain things. And for me, the book also represents that part of, like, when you're in a space, there are things that you talk about loudly, like you just said. Now we are authors, we have done the work, we have put in the effort, but we don't really say I'm an author. When someone asks what do, you don't say, oh, I write, because then you're met with kind of like, oh, do you write? Like,
yes,
is that a career? So there's a certain way that we speak about things, and that's some unspoken thing.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I wasn't sure what I was gonna get as a response. Like I was like, okay, we're gonna see what happens in front. But I think, now that I think about it, it fits so incredibly perfectly. And I think I'm yet to get my cover of Unspoken Thing, and I must read it as a pre-2026 rush read, inshallah, and I also see the unspoken thing between the characters. My next question to you is, was writing always the dream for you, or did it surprise you even now that your life has come this way? Was it just something that happened, out of nowhere, or were you always into writing? Were you always a writer?
I was always a poet. So in high school, when I was younger, I would write poetry. And I would say it's only recently that I started writing short stories. I first started with short stories because I would have these characters that would come alive in my head, and I just needed to get them onto paper, or even a scene. I'd be sitting and doing something completely mundane, and a scene would come into my head. And then I started writing them down, and some of them were only like, they started out as 300 words, and then they started building. And so I think maybe, like, deep down, I've always wanted to be an author. But again, it wasn't something that I thought I could do as like a Muslim woman from Cape Town. It didn't seem like something that I could do. And it wasn't until I went to study, I went back to study when I was 38, which is like really late in life. And one of my first lecturers, I will never forget, it was one of my first lectures in the first week of university. And one of the things he spoke about is how academia can be also used to write fiction. And I think that sparked something in me, because I've always wanted to see a book about my community, about people that are like me, about Muslim people from Cape Town, writing stories about where I'm from is very important to me. And I think that sparked that idea, and then it just expanded from there.
Two things that I have to say is that you don't look a day over 20, so you shocked me and
I'm lots of days over 20. many days.
Is that I can 100% agree with you on the topic of wanting to read about people like me, wanting to read about people from my community. And so a lot of people will read my book and say, this is Mama's story head to toe. And I'm like, oh, it's not, okay? It's stories about myself and people around me and in my community, and things that I've seen, things that my family has seen, you know? And it's that representation that we don't realize we want so bad, that we need and we crave for it, you know? We
Yeah.
already seeing people that look like us on TV, just a lady with a scarf. We always, hey, there's a hijabi over there. You know, like
Yes.
these are things
Yeah.
that we point
And you
out.
freeze frame
And
it and you like take a picture.
I think we've all done that at some point, really. But I really applaud you for that. I think personally, I'm not into the Cape Town set of things and things like that, but this is very different from what I've seen before. This is very unique and like in one of its type, if you want to be, you know, fancy about it. So I hope that, you know, the readers understand what you're trying to say, and people that purchase the book get the thought process behind it, because I think that's such an important thing as well, that you're trying so hard to get this representation out there, but is it received the way you want it to be received? And so can you tell me how has it been since the launch, and how have people received the book? How is that whole situation played out for you?
It's been amazing. I think I've had pretty good responses. I haven't had anyone yet that has messaged me and say, you know, oh, this book sucks, which I'm sure people also feel, or they don't appreciate it in the same way, because reading is very subjective. But when I wrote this book, it was for a very specific audience. So I didn't pay too much mind to who's it going to appeal to. I wanted, like, in a broader sense, I just wanted to write about Cape Town, about my community. And so far, that is what people are getting out of it. Like, just the other day, I had this person who read the book send me this really beautiful message that said, like, it's so nice to see the familiarity of Cape Town, not only in how things look, but in how the community interacts with each other. Like, the things that the characters say made her think of her own home. And that, for me, is so important. That's the whole reason I wrote the book, is I want us to see ourselves in a novel. Because when you read like you enjoy books, you read novels because you enjoy the process. And so when we find ourselves in a book, I feel like that is such a good experience for us to have as readers. And one of the things that made me think that that would be possible to do is I read books about Muslims, like from Canadian writers, and they would write about their community and how people interact and how that community functions. And it's like, if someone else from somewhere can do it, why can't we? Why is it that we feel that that space isn't for us? Yeah, so that's like, I think that's resonating, because those are the kind of messages that I'm getting, is I see myself in this. My daddy used to say this. This is what we used to do when we would say, like, we're just friends. So that's been really nice to see.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And I think that, oh, the birds want to talk on Salam Media with me today, guys. I think that me and you need to have so many conversations outside of this interview, because everything that you said is exactly what I've done with my book. Everything that you said is exactly why I wrote my book, and it's exactly what I tell people when they ask me the same question. And the exact same thing that we see people from other continents and other countries write about their communities. You know, I agree 110%. Okay, so me and you are on the same
Yay!
page here,
I've
100%.
also done my own stalking, so I did see that as well, that we share that idea.
We are on the same page, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Back onto the stalking thing, actually, for my next question is that, actually, before I get into that, let me talk a little story, right? Like last night, I asked my mother, I said, I don't know what to get for the show. I need a guest. I said, do you know Rushdiyah, the one who wrote the book from Instagram? She's like, of course I know who she is. I was like, wait, how do you know her? Like, I know how I know. How do you know her? She's like, you know, when your cousin got married and your sister got married, we got headbands from her. I said, what?
Wow.
The same person? And I was like, subhanallah, what a small world.
Wow.
And
That's
how,
amazing.
you know, our worlds connect. So I want to get into that a little bit. And so before writing, you were doing the headbands and running a business and things of that sort. So how did you take a creative journey from creating physical items and shift it into a writing process? How did that shift happen? I know that you did poetry, but this is very different. Writing a
Yeah.
full book, a full novel compared to writing a poem is something completely different. So are you still doing the headbands? How are you doing everything at once? Please do tell us.
Oh no, I'm no longer doing the headbands. I've closed the business because finding materials in Cape Town, most of the bead shops have closed, so it's been really difficult to find materials. And so the headpiece business has closed, and I'm doing the writing. I would say that's my new entrepreneurship, because writing is like being an entrepreneur. But I think the things that I've transferred or that I'm still using, making headbands takes a lot of time. Writing takes a lot of time. Making headbands, I always thought of making them like scaffolding, because I would do them in layers to get the effect that I wanted. And writing is the same. So first draft is your first base. And then you add in, what are my filter words? Because we have filter words, right? Am I showing? Am I just telling? Do I need to expand on the scene? So that's all the scaffolding that goes into the writing. And so I think those are skills that I used in my business that I can also transfer into writing, is the ability to, or the need to sit in a space and then just work on one thing, because headpieces take a long time to make, and writing a book takes a long time to do. And I think that's something I've always had. I've been beading wedding dresses since I was a teenager. My mom used to do it, and so automatically it would be like, yeah, help me do this. And I really enjoyed it. So I would always offer to do that instead of making food, because I did not enjoy being in the kitchen. So because we're 5 kids, I have 2 older brothers and 2 younger sisters. And I would always get away with not being in the kitchen, because I'd be like, I'll beat the dress. Are you busy beating a dress? Let me beat the dress. And so I would be quite content to sit for hours and just beat. And I think that has been something that has really helped me with being someone who makes headpieces and then someone who writes, is just the ability to sit in one space and focus on the job that I'm doing at the moment. Yeah.
Two completely different worlds, but now we see how they've been able to collide and become one thing without really becoming one thing, and see the similarities between the two. So I know that listening to you speak now, I went through a journey, and I've seen how you've evolved, and I'm sure for you it looking back, it's something that you can't even explain, that wow, I did all of these things and I'm still standing. So we're very proud of you for that. It's very rough, and I think with the entrepreneurship side of things and now writing a book, I can add my 2 cents there almost. Is I always tell people the story, and I kind of laugh at my family is very bad to come, right? But we've had every business in the world. It doesn't matter what it is, we have sold it. Me and my mother and my sister have sold it. We've made it. We've done everything. And so moving from this conventional home industry or conventional market setting of selling things and working in that way, to now putting all of your time and your your thoughts into writing a book, it's completely 2 different things that people won't even think can collide or can be similar, really. But they really are. And like you said, the whole sitting in one spot and just focusing on that. I think I was a bit over enthusiastic when I started, and I was like, I will write every day and we're gonna finish this book, I promise you. And I started that in a week. I said, I don't think I can do that. Like I need to relax, and I need to space it out. And so that's when I found more happiness in writing more, because it wasn't like a task that I needed to finish this book. It became like something that I enjoy doing. I would say, okay, today
joyful.
I'm for a few hours,
and it should be joyful.
Exactly. So I think the majority of the book, you kind of see the switch from when I was writing every day to when I was writing for me almost, but I didn't want to change it too much because it matches sort of my character. We're not going to get into my book right now, but you're going to read it and you'll understand everything that I said.
I'm going to read it. Definitely. I'm going to read it for sure.
I want to go into, while we're talking about writing, what was your schedule like for writing? Can we get more into that? Like, are you a late night writer? Do you write?
Like
do
you
you
were
type?
saying now, like we
Tell
all
us all
start
about
with I'm gonna write every day. I'm gonna be so good. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna be done with my book in like such a short time, and it's gonna be great and it's gonna be amazing. And then you burn out after a week. So I've learned that that is not my process. Every workshop and writing place that I've ever been to or read about always says a good writer will write every day, and I'm like, that's not true. I I don't believe that. I think that for me personally,
100%.
that's not my process. I have too many things that I'm doing to be able to write every day. I think about writing every day. It's always on my brain. So if I'm busy with a scene, in my head, I'm always working out, oh, what is this person going to say? What is that person going to say? Where are they going to be? What is the setting like? What are the colors? Those kinds. So I'm constantly thinking about it. But I don't always sit down and write. I only sit down and write once my thoughts have all like come together. And then I can sit down and I put my timer on. I write for between 5 and 12 minutes, depending on how I feel for the day. And then I write without thinking. I write physically and I type on my keyboard, on my laptop. So it depends on where I am in my process. If I still feel a little bit confused about my scene, I will use a pen and paper. Because for me, free writing works to just unlock everything that I've been thinking about. It's easier for me to get everything on paper. Because it's also a slower process than typing, I find that I'm more intentional as I'm free writing because the timer is going. I only have so much time to do it. I only have so much time while I'm physically writing this. So I find that what I write is more true to what I've been thinking about. And then I will type it out on the laptop, and that's where I do my editing. But yeah, my process is definitely not I write every day. I write in spurts and I write when the ideas come to me. Even my short stories, like right now, I have this idea of a married couple, but I'm still working on it. So I'm not going to type it out or start writing it until I've worked out all the components of the story. That works for me. And the thing that I've learned also is that everybody has their own process. We need to figure out what works for us and not try to do what everybody says you must do, because then we just feel like failures as writers because we're not doing, everybody says you must write every day and then you don't write every day. And it's like, I'm not a writer. I don't write every day. I'm not like everybody else. And that's okay if you're not like everybody else. Like we have to find our own rhythm and our own process for how we write. And whatever we come up with and works for us is okay, as long as we get the job done.
Honestly, that's the math, or the main thing to worry about is at the end, the book is there, it's right, it's edited, it's fine. However long it takes it's
And
okay,
it
man. You
feels
don't have,
good.
a time limit to write a book at
Exactly.
all. And so I really like what you're saying, that no specific timing or writing process is going to work for everybody. It's all about finding your rhythm. Even if you also start with the writing every day for a week until you can't do it anymore, you find your balance afterwards, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
So
okay.
I really like that, that it's not a rush. And with a lot of things in life as well, it's always, we're talking about 2026 goals and things like that, and how you can't just wake up tomorrow and say, it's 2026 and my life has changed. It's about, the steps to getting there and things like that. So we see it
Yeah.
in all different aspects of the show, at least today, and show that we're not lying when we say these things, because we're speaking about it in all the conversations.
Yes,
um
exactly.
my
Sorry,
my
my
next
cat has
question
decided
for
to
you,
join us. Right.
you know what, mine has been walking in circles around me this entire time. So I think they're talking or something through the show. My next question for you is, was there really a moment in your writing when you thought to yourself, I can't believe I'm writing a book and I'm loving what I'm writing. What scene or what chapter for you made it for you that, this sealed the deal?
I would say it's about in the middle of the book. I can't remember. I think it's chapter 34. I remember I was going to sleep and all the lights were off and the house was very quiet. And then suddenly I had this idea for this conversation. So I picked up my laptop and I sat in the dark and I was typing. And then I was like, I can't see because I can't type fast enough. And I put the light on and I typed out that entire scene between the main characters. And when I was done, I put it away and I didn't look at it again. But the next morning I read through it and I was like, okay, this feels good. I'm reading this. I can feel the feelings between them. I like what they are saying. I feel like I'm conveying the feeling that I want to convey. And I think that was a moment where I was like, okay, I think I got this. I think I got this. Because as writers, I don't know if you've experienced this, but imposter syndrome creeps in at the oddest hour. Like my book is published, but I still have that imposter syndrome. Like, am I a good writer? Did I do a good job? And I think I've gotten to the place where I've done a good job with this book at the point where I was when I wrote it. And inshallah, when I write my next book, that will be the best writing that I have at that point. Because we change. We're constantly working on our craft and what we learn about writing. And so in the next book, I will be able to apply that. But this book, alhamdulillah, has been the best that I can do at this point, at the point that I wrote it. And I think I've come to terms with that. Like I'm at peace with that. And I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with the book that I wrote and put out there.
Alhamdulillah. I don't think it could have been said better that for right now and where I'm at, this is the best that I could have done. Because, the imposter syndrome, I think, is all of us, really, Just yesterday, I was having a conversation with this lady and she was going on, Wama wrote your book. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but don't say it. Like, that's what I keep saying. Like, don't say it out loud. Like, okay, what if it's not a good book and you read it, you don't enjoy it? And now you finish going to tell everyone that I wrote it. Now they know that I did.
Yes, exactly. That's so relatable.
Exactly. But I think with all of that, we just look at the fact that we're here, we're having sales on our books. There's people reading the book, there's people posting about the book, there's people telling other people about the book. And that's enough for me, really. That there's people that thought to themselves, I need to tell someone else about this. And you don't tell someone else something bad. Like if you're gonna tell me that you told them, I'm hoping it was all good. But that's like what gives me the peace of mind that there's somebody that enjoys it, there's someone that cried to it.
Zakah is more than just charity. It is a duty, a trust, and a means to uplift those in need. For over 40 years, Islamic Relief has only distributed zakah through policies that comply with Sharia guidelines, endorsed by qualified scholars, making sure it only reaches those who are eligible. Give with Islamic Relief, where your zakah is our amana.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Dad, these Frymax chips are so tasty.
Wow, that really takes me back.
My dad bought me a Frymax chips every day after school. They were my favorite when I was your age as well. Quality is at the very heart of what we do, and that's why we ensure that every Frymax packet is filled with the beautiful goodness and flavor-packed taste that you've come to expect from us since 1982. Frymax, from generation to generation.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +27 33 346 2071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying, or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
I know that you could easily take away everything you've given me, and I try to remember not to take anything for granted, 'cause I know that one day suddenly this will all come to an end. So my last wish is for you to be pleased with me. Allah, ya Allah, guide me all the way to your Jannah. Ya Allah, ya Allah, don't let me go astray, 'cause I need you by my side. I wish to be close to you throughout my life, ya Allah.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لي وحدي أو كيف السبيل.
Humanity sets the agenda.
All right, we're back. We're back, and I've been gone for a while. I'm trying my best, but I'm back. Alhamdulillah. We have been in quite the conversation, and I don't want to end it, but we can see the situation that we are in. But inshallah, we are going to have you back on the show so soon, because I've got like 1,000 questions left to ask you. But we will be back, and we will continue this conversation so soon, inshallah. So this is going to have to be the end of the show. I'm so heartbroken, but it's tomorrow too. We will continue the show tomorrow, and hopefully the network decides to be my friend tomorrow. So I'm going to need all the listeners' du'as. I'm going to need everyone's du'as tomorrow. I won't get kicked out very rudely, inshallah. This has been Umama Muraledi, and I've been in such lovely conversation with Miss Rushdiyah, and we've been talking about some unspoken thing. And what a lovely book, guys. I think you should all go and buy the book. You can just quickly tell the viewers where they can find you, where they can get your book, and then we'll wrap up, inshallah.
Some Unspoken Thing is available at your, like all the bookshops. It's at Bargain Books, Exclusive Books, loot.co.za. Take a lot. It's also available on Kindle for international readers. And I am Rushdiyah at Rushdiyah Writes on social media, and you can find me there if you have any questions or if you just want to tell me something
Perfect.
about the
Guys, I
book.
must also go follow her. Sorry?
No, I'm done. Sorry, I was finished.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, this is horrible. This is very, very bad. But
No, I've
everybody
really
should go and
enjoyed our
follow her. Her content
conversation.
is
I've
so
enjoyed
lit.
our this little
Jazakallah.
conversation, and inshallah we get to do it again soon.
Inshallah, when I'm back home and I'm in Joburg, when there's stable Wi-Fi, we will continue the conversation. And I have so much more to speak to you about. Like I've said, so much to ask. So Jazakallah khair for joining me. Jazakallah so much to all the listeners for listening in. Again, it's been Umama Murledi on News and Views, an amazing literature spotlight, and we will see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.